Hey friends, welcome back to the table here on Living by the F Word. For anyone new that is tuning in, my name is Jess, and you are currently watching my Fools 4 series, which is all about tarot, oracle, and Lenormand card divination. I typically do a lot of unboxings and flip throughs of my card collection. So if you're interested in learning about new artists, new decks, or even reviewing popular decks that you may know about already, please consider subscribing and joining my community here. Now, last week I did a pick a card reading, which was my first video of the month of February, and it was festival themed after Envision Festival, which is one of my favorite festivals. And the reason being is because my channel, Living by the F Word, I do talk about F words that I'm passionate about as well. So besides the tarot and the cards with my Fools 4 series, you may see other videos pertaining to different F words that I enjoy talking about and that I'm passionate about. So if you're interested in any of that, yeah, please consider joining my family here on YouTube. Now, with that being said, this is going to be my first unboxing video for the month of February, which we all know right now is currently Black History Month. And so I really felt compelled to share the Next World Tarot deck with you as my first flip through for this month. And I'm going to talk about how I acquired this deck, how this actually was a deck that chose me. I'm going to talk about the artist a little bit, and we're going to dive into her beautiful artwork. So where do I start first? Well, first of all, happy Black History Month, everyone. And the artist here, Cristy C actually is a Cuban American artist. However, her books and her art is highly focused on, social justice, queer culture, feminism, environmental issues. That is basically what the core of her artwork is. She's also done artwork on the pandemic since we've entered this global pandemic. And she really uses her art to voice valid opinions, in my opinion, on these topics that have been going on within our society, especially here in the United States. So she also, besides being an amazing artist, is a writer and in 2 punk rock bands, I believe. And she's originally from Miami, Florida, and currently resides in Brooklyn. She also talks a lot about what it's like being a gay Latina. So she has a lot going on for her, and her artwork is really, really powerful. Really powerful, really moving. And even last year she had, if you are in the UK at all, she had a art exhibit there called Loud and Clear, which was in Brighton, which is one of my favorite cities in the UK. Anyone that is familiar with my channel, I've talked about Brighton before. I'm a flight attendant, and that was one of my most memorable layovers, was taking the train down to Brighton from London. But in particular, that particular show I wanted to share with you because I thought the art was beautiful. I personally didn't go, but just based on the research I've done about this particular artist, I thought it was a really interesting show that I wanted to share with you. And basically, it was presented by the ONCA Arts, which is a Brighton-based arts charity that bridges social and environmental justice issues with creativity. So very fitting for Cristy C to be a part of that exhibit. If you are interested in getting to know the artist better, her website is croadcore.org, and her Instagram is croadcore, so at croadcore on Instagram, and I will leave all of that down in the description box below. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about her a little bit. Even though she is not a Black artist, she does represent the struggles that Blacks and Black Americans and queers and anyone that basically faces some form of discrimination within the United States. She focuses heavily on that, and it is all very prevalent here in this tarot deck called the Next World Tarot. So that is why I wanted to share it with you. So that's what we're going to do. So I really hope you enjoy this flip through. Let me show you the box. So as you have seen, we have the front here, which I will tell you, I believe that is the Justice card. So yes, we have the side here. It's just so vibrant. It's so beautiful. The back, we have a flower with barbed wire, and it says Next World Tarot, written and illustrated by Cristy C. Copyright 2017. So it did come out in 2017, this deck. And then we have the other side here, which anyone subscribed to my channel, you probably recognize the sides of this box because I typically have it set back here in all of my videos. It is just absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. So how did I come across this deck? So I actually, there are a few channels that have done flip throughs of this deck before, but I actually had not come across it in a flip through. I actually randomly came across it at Barnes & Noble, actually, and I found it right after George Floyd had been murdered. So I'm pretty sure everyone watching knows about everything that has been happening with the Black Lives Matter movement, and it really has been going on ever since 2013. However, it has really turned into more of a global movement, I would say, now, ever since George Floyd was murdered. So it was actually right after that. So it was before Father's Day, right after George Floyd had been murdered. And I went to Barnes & Noble. I was looking for Angels books for my father, for a gift for him. And he's really interested in angels. So I was looking for angel cards or angel books for him. And of course, you know, I had to go look at some of the decks they had, even though I clearly don't need any more. But I was like, oh, let me just go see what they have available. And on the shelf there was this box. And I was like blown away because it just felt like, I was like, okay, wait, I'm like living through this right now. I'm like, okay, wait, how come this deck has really never been brought to my attention? Like, why? Like, I had never heard of it, and it was released in 2017. So, I mean, I got into tarot in 2018, but still, like, I really had not seen this anywhere. And you know, it was kind of expensive. This is the larger version. And so this was $50. But I just had to get it. And I had just ordered like a bunch of other decks too, but I was like, no, I absolutely have to get this deck. I mean, I just have to. So that is how it chose me. I feel like it chose me because I did not know about it. Most of my decks that I purchase, I learned through Instagram, or I, you know, find out from watching other tarot channels do unboxings. So, you know, I just felt so compelled to get this deck. And so I'm really excited to share it with you today. And let's get into it. So, before I actually get into it, let me tell you a little bit about the sizing. So you could see here with my hand, these are massive cards, okay? So, I do believe after this deck was released, she did release a pocket size version. So you can get a standard size version for $20. This version that I have is $50. And so I just want to show you like the size comparisons to a standard tarot card and like a standard like oracle card maybe. So, okay. So here's the size comparison. And once again, this is the larger size Next World Tarot. So the pocket size, I would imagine, is smaller. because I think she got feedback on that. I believe she got feedback once this deck came out, but I think what she was trying to do was she was just really focused on having the imagery be seen. I mean, you guys will see this art is so powerful. It is really something else. And a lot of people, if you read the reviews, a lot of people say that they struggle having readings with it. And I think that's just because it made them uncomfortable, because she's bringing issues that are happening every day in this country, you know, to the surface that people want to suppress and hide and that aren't being covered. And she is bringing it to a tarot deck that really, it is really something else. So here is just a standard poker size comparison. So like I could probably cover like almost four poker size cards, or, you know, bridge size, whatever you want to call it, cards here. So clearly this is a huge deck, so some people may have issues with that, but she has since released that smaller version. We have the guidebook here, which is just in black and white. Let's see the inside here, if there's something I should read to you. Okay, I'm going to read you this first intro part. Okay. Actually, let's do that so that you can see too. When we're up, the system wants to tear us down. When we're down, we sink in an act of resistance or self-preservation that comes from the horror of exhaustion. How do we hold each other up in a world where oppression can be louder than self-love? The Next World Tarot is a tool for magic. Magic is essential for the head to reach the feet and for the feet to truly feel the earth, the sun, the trees, the ground, the elements that much of humanity take for granted. The Next World Tarot is a threshold between humans and ghosts, where the spirits of our guides are sparkling behind us when we are at war. The Next World aims to decolonize the stories of our grandparents and our connections to the universe that are often challenged by the fog of patriarchy and imperialism. The Next World aims to dismantle the patriarchal foundations of security culture, as it has silenced survivors of institutionalized violence for far too long. The Next World is a feminine hacker, eager to out the truth and tired of compromising her mind and body for stability. The Next World is about decriminalizing Black bodies. Its conversations on external and internalized racism transforming into action. It's dismantling white supremacy as a universal task. The Next World is accessible. It's relearning respect to the point where we can care for people with abilities different than our own through intuitive and rapid responses. The Next World is self-care as a right. The Next World is reviewing our definitions of gender and respecting those of others. The Next World is trans-feminist. It's understanding historical power structures about gender expression. It's intersectional, as discussing gender and race is vital to feminism. It is elevating the revolutions required to truly elevate all women. The Next World removes the patriarchal gaze that stares deeply into communities of color, the gaze that erases histories rich in gender queerness and matriarchy. The Next World is a foundation for reconnecting to our ancestry and dismantling magic that's been harmed. It's being spiritual and queer and broken or fixed, but being okay. The Next World is misfits owning their cultures without guilt. It's causing a glowing rift between structured dogmatic religion and humanity's connection to the spirit world. It's nurturing the decolonized ideologies on health and wellness passed down to us by our abuelas, our elders, and our healers. The next world is breathing. It's knowing that we are safe as long as we continue to answer the tough questions in order to find lightness and justice. In the next world, we can name our darkest moments in our heads, in our closets, in our worst companionships, in our worst selves, and we can power through them. As we are accountable, as we listen, as we cry, as we let go, as we face challenges with spit and grit, we face joy unapologetically, ushering into the next world. The Next World Tarot was created with graphite pencils, micron pens, markers, acrylic paint, gel pens, and 70-something friends and heroes. Over the course of the 7 years, the process and team shifted multiple times. However, the intention stayed the same, an illustrated oracle articulating the end of the world as we know it. All individuals illustrated in the next world represent co-conspirators, heroes, inspirations, and family living both on earth and in the spirit world. The Next World Tarot is an oracle for revolution, the powers that have long been plagued by violence, that attack our bodies, our genders, our cultures, our sacred knowledge, and our earth. Everyone deserves an outlet, reservoir for safety, a comforting warmth in the rib cage, the space surrounding the heart. Revolution lies in our ability to manifest our truest selves, our ability to see total justice, and in our deepest awareness of the only system greater than us, the galaxy. Love and Rage, Cristy C. Road. So you can clearly see what we're about to get into here. It's amazing, you guys. Just wait. So now, this is just instructions on how to read. Talks about the Next World Tarot spread. Okay, she has a bunch. She has a 3-card quick therapy. She has a 10-card Next World Celtic Cross, and she has a 3-card anxiety spread. Okay, which maybe we will do that one at the end. And then she has the major arcana, of course, and then it goes through the suits. And so we might have to reference that later. Now, one thing I will mention is at the end there, you heard her describing this as an oracle, which of course, any type of card divination is cartomancy, is oracle. It's like kind of confusing because they have different names, but typically like it's all under one umbrella basically. However, the way that she designed this deck, I find that it really blends the tarot with oracle and also with astrology. So it's quite impressive because she has a lot of information on these cards. So here we go. I'm already 18 minutes in and we are just getting to the flip through. So I just hope you enjoyed all that information. I hope that it was something new to you or something that you are looking forward to diving deeper into this deck with me. All right, let's go. So we have the Fool here, obviously the image, and then we have Air in Aquarius, card 0, of course, Saturn. So it's this, she has the planet and astrology associations with the tarot. So that was new for me when I got this deck. I was like, oh, awesome, because I really, I still struggle when it comes to things like this with pairing the astrology with the cards. So I thought that was a really fun feature. So I will talk about some of the cards, but for the most part, I will just probably let you look at them. And then the backs of the cards are just like the box, the back of the box. The Magician, Earth, Virgo, and Mercury. The High Priestess, Water, Cancer, and the Moon. These cards are so detailed, it is really beautiful. You could spend a lot of time on just one. Here's our Empress, which is Earth and Taurus and Venus. Okay, so she did switch up some of the typical tarot, what would be considered, like this one would typically be considered the Emperor, card 4. She has as the Teacher, and it's Fire, Aries, and ruled by Mars. And on the book that she's reading, it says The Bridge Called My Back. But there's like a lot of little details in these cards that are really powerful. Okay, so here instead of the Hierophant, we have the Messenger, which is Earth, Taurus, and Venus. And you can tell this is some type of activist, public speaking. Some of the signs say queer, resist, queers, something, these fags kill something. So some type of queer protest. Okay, then we have the Lovers, which is card 6, Air, Gemini, and Mercury, which I really think that this is such a powerful Lovers card because this is this individual and their lover is coming out of the mirror. So it's essentially them in like without clothes. Super powerful. All right, now we're on to the Chariot. Water, Cancer, and the Moon. Strength, Fire, Leo, the Sun. The Hermit, Earth, Virgo, Mercury. Wheel of Fortune, Fire, Sagittarius, Jupiter. Here's our Justice card, which is the cover that you saw, Air, Libra, Venus. And this is another protest, of course. It says Stop Killing Us, Queer, Muslim, and Proud. We have Protect. A lot of it's cut off, but it says Silence equals death. We have Protect Trans Women. Yeah, this is, I mean, obviously this is the cover of the box and what pulled me in. I just knew I had to get this deck when I saw this. I was like, wow, this is, and I just love this representation of Lady Liberty, you know, with her fist raised. Just, I mean, everything about it, like you could just see, you really see these people and like their hurt, but also their compassion for fighting for what's right. Okay, so instead of the Hanged Man, we have Suspension, which is Water, Pisces, and Neptune. The colors are just so vibrant as well, really beautiful. Okay, here's our Death card. So Water, Scorpio, and Mars. It's really interesting, this like life-size rodent there. It's like super different. Okay, here's our Temperance card. Love those huge angel wings. Fire and Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter. Okay. Here we have the Devil. And it says, dissolve the empire undertaking the new order of the ages. This is Earth Capricorn, ruled by Saturn. And I believe, now I could be wrong, I could reference the guidebook, but I do believe that this has to do with the, actually, it's not this one, it's the next one. Because they're both like having to do with what was going on in the country when Trump was elected. So basically this one, I'm going to try to get as close as possible, but I mean, you have the TV and you have like the mice, the rodents, and like for anyone that practices Lenormand, we know that mice they are generally not a good card because they are thieves and they steal from people. So I think it's interesting that she has the mice in the TV set here. There's children fighting, there's money, comforting going on here. We have money, we have a man shaking what looks like a member of the Ku Klux Klan with American eagles and bombs, and it's very descriptive here. But what I was going to say, which actually was this card, I was getting them confused because, quite frankly, there's just too much shitty shit that happens in this country for the current time we're living in my opinion. Honestly, like as a millennial, like I never paid attention so much more than I would say the last few years. I definitely would say that I was out of touch with a lot of things, and now more than ever I am paying attention to a lot more things. But what I was going to say was this card here, Revolution, which typically would be the Tower card, is ruled by Mars, and the sign is Scorpio. Water is the element, and then it has defend the sacred, no blood for oil. And I do believe that this one has to do with the Dakota pipeline, and they wanted, there was a huge, I believe it was in 2016, there was a huge protest to protect native land where they wanted to create a pipeline for oil, and the protesters were many indigenous people of this country that were saying, listen, this is going to mess up, you know, our water. And not only that, they would have been digging up sacred burial grounds. I mean, this country was founded by indigenous Native Americans, and then, you know, they wanted to dig it up for oil, and so that's what this card represents. And it's really, I mean, it's really powerful. But you do see there is still beauty up front here. And then we have protesters here. I remember one of my friends was a part of that protest. He would do a lot of live videos. It was so scary what was happening to them, and just as scary as what's happening to Black people right now currently as well. You know, it was, you know, they were getting rubber bulleted and on their own land. And if they flew drone helicopters up, you know, they were getting shot down by the government. It was really, really fucked up. And excuse my French, but I am living by the F word after all, so sorry. We have the Star here. Gorgeous star card. It's Aquarius, ruled by Uranus. Beautiful butterflies. So there is balance within this deck. I will say that. I do think she does a beautiful job of creating balance, bringing issues that are important for people to know about. But the entire deck is not so, I don't want to say like in your face, but like just even for instance, when we go from the Revolution to the Star, I mean, the difference there, you see what I'm saying? Like not everything is not everything is about the issues and the social injustices that she's trying to bring forward through her art. She also is representing these people that are real people in her life, that are real people in this world, that are beautiful, strong, and represent like the next world that we all hope to be a part of, a world of equality. Okay, here we have the Moon, beautiful Moon card, and she still has some features from traditional Rider-Waite-Smith. Like she has, it's a puppy here instead, but she still has, you know, this crab going on there. And it's very interesting, like the landfills and the land that a lot of these people are sitting on. Okay, here's our Sun card. Which I think that's the side of the box that I always have. Yeah, that I said in the beginning is just gorgeous. So, and she still represents the sunflowers here. Like how the standard Rider-Waite-Smith has sunflowers with a child. So I love her leggings here. I love that, and her earrings and everything. Beautiful. So we have Leo, ruled by the sun, fire sign. Okay. Here is Judgment, which I do believe is a Black Lives Matter protest. And it's that you could see the banner there. It says, "I can't breathe." So this probably was after one of the deaths that happened in 2014 or 2013 when the Black Lives Matter movement first started, because this deck was released in 2017. So there have been many innocent Black people that have been killed, and that's what really started this movement. So I'm just gonna share with you what some of the signs say. So on the light here on the lamppost, we have Black Lives Matter. We have Black Lives Matter here. We also have hands up, don't shoot. We have no justice, no peace. No racist police. Another really powerful card. Okay, and for the end of the majors, we have the World. Isn't he beautiful? Now, typically this card is depicted by a woman, and what I really love about this deck, and you're gonna see more, is that there is no gender here. So you will see males as queens, you will see females as kings, and it really is, I have like a big smile on my face. It's just like, it's different. There's representation. Okay, and so that's Capricorn, ruled by Saturn. And then we have the 4 images there, the fire, diamond, fish, and the flower. Okay, so now we are heading into the wands, and this is something else that is different about this deck. She has, for the aces, and I believe for the court cards, she calls it something. So for instance, this is Ace of Wands, but she also calls this the Roots of Fire. So there's no, there's a title here, but there's no, like for the majors, you have the planet and the sign and the element, but for some of these, you have a name, and even for 2 through 10, she has a name, but just the layout is a little different. So here is our Two of Wands. So you could see she calls this one Dominion, Mars in Aries. So she has like keywords. It's kind of like how an oracle deck would have a keyword, which I think is kind of cool. By the way, like I would love that in real life. It like looks like a compass. I love it. She is so beautiful. I love her fashion. I love it. Okay, here we have the Three of Wands, which she has called Foresight, Mars and Aries. So you're still seeing the planet and the signs here. The what the card is usually ruled by what planet and the sign. Okay. Here is the Four of Wands, Venus and Aries, Harmony. So she calls this one Harmony. Have the Five of Wands, Strife, Saturn and Leo. Let's see, that says free condoms on there. So there's like these really little details that I don't know if you could see on camera. Okay, here we have the Six of Wands, which is victory. And it says decolonization and rebirth on the pillows here. Jupiter and Leo. This one, Seven of Wands, she calls courage, and it's Mars in Leo. I love this one because in a lot of the recent protests, or really any of these protests, clearly, you are always seeing some type of peaceful protester getting ganged up and arrested by police and all this equipment. It's just, I mean, this image I really can relate to, because you see so much of that when you watch the news and you hear stories of these people being arrested for really sitting here with candles or trying to give them flowers. Eight of Wands, Mercury and Sagittarius, and this is called direct action. And he's carrying a box that says truth bombs. Okay, then we have the Nine of Wands, resilience, Moon in Sagittarius. Ten of Wands, completion, Saturn in Sagittarius. Almost looks like Britney Spears there on the poster. Okay, so here's our page who is the home of fire. Looks like the Brooklyn Bridge to me. Then we have the Knight of Wands, which is the fire starter. Our Queen of Wands, Throne of Determination. So I really like how she has like these titles for these cards. King of Wands, the Throne of Fire. Now we're on to the Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles, Roots of the Earth. I'm going to try to go a little quicker. This video is already so long. I hope you're enjoying it so far, though. Two of Pentacles, intersection, Jupiter and Capricorn. So on the briefcase there, it says workers' rights and human rights. Okay, here we have the Three of Pentacles. The team, which is Mars and Capricorn. We have points of unity. Seems like some type of get-together. They're mapping out a game plan, going over some facts. Here's the Four of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles, turmoil. This one is sad. The fives are always sad for me, no matter what tarot deck. Like whenever a five turns up, I'm like, ugh. But this one in particular is sad because it's a child sitting on boxes. Like, seems like everything is for sale. It just seems like they're getting driven out of their community, or they can't afford to be in their community, or there's some type of social issue there where housing is not available, and it just breaks my heart looking at that one. This one, Six of Pentacles, redistribution, Moon and Taurus. So this particular card is, you could see on the box here, it says disaster relief, first aid, and you could see that there's water and some palm trees. And this particular card, I believe, has to do with the aid that was not given to Puerto Rico during Hurricane Maria, which was a devastating hurricane that tore a lot of the Caribbean up, but it really destroyed Puerto Rico. That was when, at the time, Trump was president, and he went down and he was throwing paper towel rolls to these people as if it was like a basketball game, as if it was like some sort of joke. And just completely upsetting. But yeah, that's what this card, I believe, is about. Okay, here we have Seven of Pentacles, which is vision, Saturn and Taurus. There's another Puerto Rico, because we could see the Puerto Rican flags here. So she looks like, look at her little puppy, how adorable. She's selling jewelry. So even right there with these two cards, you have like a light and a dark, pertaining to Puerto Rico. Eight of Pentacles, creation, Sun in Virgo. We have Nine of Pentacles, self-sufficiency. So I really like these keywords, like as like almost like an oracle would have, because it might help you come up with the meanings better. Although I will say that her guidebook is really interesting, how she conveys and writes about these cards. It is definitely non-traditional, as you can probably tell. But when we pick a card later, you'll see that, because I'll read an insert. Okay, I absolutely love this Ten of Pentacles, security, Mercury in Virgo with the moon phases, and she's like on this tight wire, just completely confident and above the cityscape. I just love it. I personally am from New Jersey, near New York City, so because Cristy C now currently resides in New York, I have like this special feeling and connection when I see some of these images, just because New York City is like my city. Like, that's the city I've grown up around, born and raised, always going to New York. Just love New York City, love the people, although people that aren't from here typically don't like New York because they think, New Yorkers are a bunch of assholes, but they're really not. You just, I don't know, you just don't understand what we're like, I guess. But I just absolutely love this deck for that reason too. So here is our Page of Pentacles, the home of ideas. Really love this one. This looks like she has a lot of like astrology in the photos back there. Like, the thing that's so cool about her art is you really can be focusing and studying one image for a long time. And so I think that's why when she originally released this deck, she made it so big, because she didn't want those little details to get lost. Okay, here we have the Knight of Pentacles, which is the methodical approach. I don't know if I said that right. Methodical. Whew, that's kind of like tongue twister for me. She's got a giant ass crystal in her hand. Okay, I love this. I remember the first time I saw this deck and I flipped through it, the Queen of Pentacles, the Throne of Sanctuary. And this is what I mean. Like, I just love that, for instance, now we have the Queen and the King here. I mean, there's no gender barriers here. So, you know, most people would see this person as a male, but she's representing him as a queen. And then most people would see things like the kings as a male figure, but she's representing this woman as a king. So it's just, there's no gender barriers, you know? I love that about this deck. It's really cool. And I just love his top hat. Everyone knows, I just love his whole wardrobe. Everyone knows that I love hats and I create hats and stuff like that. Then we have our king, which looks like Los Angeles because there's that star there and it says daddy. What else is on here? Let's see. It says violent girl. There's like a lot of pollution. There's jewelry. There's a lot of jewels. But it looks like it's Los Angeles just because of the star there. Okay, we have the Ace of Swords, the Roots of Action. Now we're in our sword suit. This looks very similar to a regular, like traditional Two of Swords, which is kind of cool, but still like her own spin on it. So we have Protection, Moon in Libra. This Three of Swords. Oof. All these bandages and band-aids on it. I mean, we have like a shark there. That one's sword. All right, here we have Four of Swords. We have 2013 regrets. There's like just so much little details that like I like, honestly, I'm about to shut my camera off again because this video is getting so long that I have to keep shutting it off and restarting the video. But I mean, this is part of the reason why I really wanted to share this deck as the first flip through for February, just to honor Black History Month and honor, you know, anyone that maybe fighting for civil or environmental rights currently. This one is called Survival, the Five of Swords. She has like a microscope there. I really like that. Science. We love science here. All right, here we have the Six of Swords, which is passage. And we have the Seven of Swords. Love that. Escape, Moon in Aquarius. We have the Eight of Swords. Restriction, Jupiter and Gemini. Nine of Swords. So as you can tell, some cards have hints of traditional, but for instance, this one, Nine of Swords, is typically someone that's like trying to go to bed or sleeping or something along those lines. And, you know, but maybe this particular individual, I'm trying not to say she or he. You guys could probably tell that I'm struggling with that. I'm trying to say they, because I'm not sure if she's she or he, but they probably are struggling like with you know, having thoughts on their mind or something, because they're chain smoking all these cigarettes. This is like a pretty vivid Ten of Swords if I've ever seen one, and she calls it ruin, which is pretty accurate. And that is Sun in Gemini. We have the Page of Swords here, the Home of Action. It says do not enter, and on that little sign it says government testing facilities. Trespassers will be prosecuted under I can't see, something of law. And so she's just like cutting right through that with like a machete. She's like, yeah, I don't think so. And then we have the Knight of Swords, the escape plan. And the license plate says revolution. So I actually did a pick a card reading on my Instagram with this deck on election night. So the last United States election between Trump and Biden, I actually did an entire pick a card on my Instagram. So some of these cards may be familiar if you follow me over there. This is the Queen of Swords, the Throne of Truth. Limp wrist is what her dress says. Okay, and then we have the King of Swords, Throne of Knowledge. Really beautiful, like night scenes, daytime scenes, just really good representation here. Okay, we're on to our last suit, which is the Ace of Cups, the Roots of Water. I love this Two of Cups. The Two of Cups is a power duo, basically, and she even has the keyword here as connection. But this is like the ultimate love. Like this is the perfect confidant for you, you know, just someone that is your soulmate, essentially. And I just love that she represents two men. This is the Three of Cups, which is called Joy, Mercury and Cancer. It's kind of like an underwater scene, this one. I really love this one. Okay, here we have Four of Cups, which is Moon and Cancer. Reevaluate. Lots of pollution, like you see the bottles there in the water. There is lots of pollution, so she definitely has a strong feeling about environmental issues for sure. Five of Cups, which is loss, Mars and Scorpio. They're in some type of graveyard there. Okay, Six of Cups, reunion, Sun in Scorpio. That's a really fun card. I like that one. Different generations there. Okay, here we have the Seven of Cups, imagination, Venus and Scorpio. Eight of Cups. Did my candles keep burning out. I'm basically at the end of my candles here. This is abandon. I love that this like is just so fun. Flying above the city. Looks like the lower east side or something, but maybe it's Brooklyn. I don't really know. Nine of Cups, happiness, Jupiter and Pisces. Ten of Cups, safety, Mars and Pisces. Page of Cups, home of expression. We have our Knight of Cups, the love song. Here's our Queen of Cups, which is the other side of the box. And that's the Throne of Emotion. I love this card too. I'm trying to get it to really focus for you. And here is our King of Cups, which is the Throne of Movement, which absolutely beautiful card. All right, we made it through. Oh, I don't have my card holder here. That's okay. I'm just gonna shuffle these and we're gonna pick one and I'm gonna read the guidebook. So as you can see, like, look how big these cards are. Like, it's a little bit of a struggle. But we will get it done. Okay, I've given them pretty good shuffle. I just want you guys to know, if you decide to get the larger size deck, which is this one, it is extremely hard to shuffle. Now, I, of course, am not the best shuffler to begin with, so I'm trying to go like that and then like put them together. But I definitely think that If you are a collector and you want the art solely for the art, if you're wanting this deck solely for the art, go with this larger size. But if you are someone that wants to work with this deck and discover this deck, I do think it's hard to work with shuffle wise. Like, it's so hard to even, you know, get my hand for an overhand shuffle even. But I feel like I did a good job off camera for the most part to get us a card. Trying to go like that. I'm probably going to be ending a lot of these cards. I'm trying not to, but it's difficult to get them. So let's see what we get, and I will read through the guidebook for you. Yes. Of course we got that one. Okay. Of course. All right. I left my card holder in my room, so I'm wondering if I just stand her up, if you will be able to see her. I'll just hold her up once I get to the guidebook page. All right, so we got Justice, which is the deck cover that drew me in. This is, you know, clearly a protest for all people, for everyone, because this is the one that says silence equals death, queer, Muslim, and proud. We have Stop Killing Us. So it's just a mix of people that are, you know, fighting for equal rights. Okay, so let's get to I will say the text in this guidebook, it's all pretty much the same, so I'm having trouble locating it. Like, the header is like basically the same size of the, here we go. Okay. I'm going to have to flip the page, so I'll hold it like this for now, and then I'll flip the page, and then I could hold it up better for you. When justice prevails, communities on the margins are elevated, yet the oppressor strengthens as it fends to maintain power. We see it in the history. Let me get this up now. We see it in the history of world domination as the most intolerant conservatives have risen during times of human resilience. Renaming it civil disobedience, civil unrest, is a necessary step in ending systems rooted in racism, misogyny, homophobia, and hate. It also says ableism, which I'm not sure what that is. Justice is connecting to the root of a movement and fully practicing what you believe in. Justice is accountability. Justice is a rowdy party of truth and love and challenges and humanity. It is a lesson you learn now as it affects the lifetime you experience. Justice isn't about balance, but about a passionate attack on hate and prejudice. It's about elevating the voices on the margins rather than speaking for them. Justice asks you to practice your gut reaction, your radical response to injustice, and hone the power behind your black, brown, queer, magical, offbeat, or sometimes disregarded body. Justice is self-love against the odds. Justice is the march where you were finally able to say, I'm here, I'm queer, and I'm not fucking buying it. Justice is letting go of toxic affiliations that erased your personal power while being accountable to your role in them. Justice is sharing that power with those who need it. Justice is asking yourself the questions that will cleanse your conscience or otherwise let you breathe. What ancient power structures exist in your life because of tradition or history, but challenge justice? Why do we forgive others for being unaware, dismissive of our struggle? Why am I here at this gathering, at this demonstration, in this movement, in this mind? Am I reclaiming a moment that is mine? Am I capitalizing off of it? Is my heart present? Am I being used, tokenized? Am I safe? Sorry, I was totally off screen there because I'm so into reading this. I'm sorry. Justice is finding a space where you can expect safety. In wisdom, justice is asking once and being held by the community that surrounds you at that moment. Justice is when you understand historical power structures, you own your mistakes, and you navigate your privilege with awareness and compassion. Justice is knowing the feeling of home, knowing you are worth your breath, receiving validation, and having full authority over your body. Justice is fabulous, and she wants you present for her revolution. I honestly couldn't have picked a better card for this deck. I feel like, I really wanted to share this deck since Black History Month really revolves around famous civil rights movement leaders and people that are currently civil rights activists. So I really just felt like this should be the first unboxing for this month, and I really hope that you enjoyed it. I know that it was a long video. A lot of my videos are long, but I hope that you learned something new, and I hope that this moved you or inspired you to support Cristy C or other artists that are fighting for different types of issues through their art. So thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, my name is Jess if you're new here, and this is my Fools 4 series. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and please consider subscribing. Would love to have you here. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.